The most direct translation of WATA is wind, but it's also used in the sense of smoke. And smoke in First Nations culture of this place is used to purify, and that smoke has a healing capacity. But there's another really important thing that a smoking ceremony does. It protects you while you're in that land. It's a way of saying, while you are here in this place, you will be safe. It's very, very significant for everybody, but especially for the Wilfreds to be welcomed by the local Kulin Nation people. For me, the whole work is a smoking ceremony. WATA is a collaboration between various different forces. Essentially, I've composed a work as part of my residency with the Melbourne Symphony Orchestra, which is built around a ceremonial song cycle, which in the language up north is called manikay. The manikay is the sort of driver of the work, but what I've written is a suite in 7 movements, which uses the manikay as its spine, if you like.
I learned manikay. I used to listen in one of my elders. So I went to my elders and I need to learn this. I got this manikay and the old generation been passed it on to us. And now I need to keep it alive. When we met Paul, we talked about manikay, telling, this is manikay go. You need to learn and listen. I'm learning something from orchestra, and they're learning from me, manikay.
When you think about the history of Australia and the way that we have interacted with our First Nations historically, it's been, by and large, a catastrophic series of very negative encounters. And you would imagine that there would be a kind of ingrained mistrust immediately for a Ballander, a white person, suddenly rocking up to their community and saying, I want to make music with you.
Through the song, through the manikay, we call ourselves brother. When you come and share, because you're telling story about manikay and the law.
These manikay are a way of describing a very basic truism of the belief of our First Nations people, and that is that they firmly believe in and understand the interconnectedness of all things. And so these songs can be understood in a way as miniature maps of the universe. And it's very important for them that this message is communicated far and wide to as many people as they can. The third component is the improvisatory capacity of the musicians of the Australian Art Orchestra. One of my beliefs and one of the drivers of the whole idea of the Australian Art Orchestra was, although many of the musicians came from mainly jazz backgrounds, that the idea of improvising is something which is shared by many different musical cultures, and that we would test the proposition of how do you create cross-cultural musical projects using improvisation and composition in some kind of mutually supportive relationship. What we learnt is that in playing along and with the manikay, we had become part of the manikay. So the manikay actually embraces and takes on board anything that becomes associated with it, which happens with their assent. The result is very, very profoundly uplifting for everybody who's involved in it. There is so much about this music which has got a lot to do with its indefinite age. I mean, this is probably some of the oldest music which has been in continual performance in the world. these people are amazing people. You know, their understanding of life and things like space and time are so advanced, in my opinion. Or maybe they were always the way that people used to look at those things and we forgot.
On the stage, something there. Something there in my body telling me not to shame, play and share. Share your knowledge, what you learn from your elders. So you're gonna show them. And orchestra gonna show you what they learn. See? We're learning. We're not looking back, we're looking forward because we're learning new things.
I'm not wedded to the idea of, you know, the long narrative arc of Western music. I mean, it's beautiful. You know, we've arrived at some absolutely divine music as a result of that. And similarly with jazz music. I mean, some of my favourite music in the world is definitely jazz music. For me, that's kind of heaven, right? But I've had moments with those guys where I've just thought, my God, you know, that is the greatest music I've ever heard. Right there. That's it.